The next thing Paul mentions in these verses in Ephesians chapter 4, verses 30 to 32 is wrath. Wrath is a stronghold of resentment, coupled with a hope to gain revenge. Have you ever thought it? If I could just have 5 minutes with that person, if I could just, I would straighten them up. Wanting that revenge, having a desire in our resentment to gain a revenge over someone is wrath. And that must be put away from us. The third thing that must be put away from us is known as the strongest of all passions, and that is anger. Anger is an exasperation, either a quick explosive outburst or a slow burn of indignation towards someone. And anger must be put away from us. Now, I've had Christian friends that really spoke naively and took the attitude that if you are sanctified, you should never get angry. That is not true. Just a few verses before, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26, just a few verses before what we have been talking about, Paul writes, "Be angry and sin not. Be angry and sin not." All of us are provoked at times, but you cannot burn in that anger. You can't permit anger to be a continued state in your life. Anger cannot be something that you allow to take root in you. We all have times when we get angry about things, sometimes righteous anger. I mentioned when I went to Sound of Freedom movie, there was times that I sat there shaking my head in anger, thinking, how could you be so depraved to do such a terrible thing? So anger can come, but we can't stay in that state of being angry. And I know people, I used to be one of them. Let me tell you, I used to be one of them. Anger was a real stronghold in my life. And I understand that. I've known people that walk around in anger all of the time. They're constantly in a state of anger. You can't do that. You can't. That must be put away from us as spiritual Christians, because that anger feeds into our lives attitudes that become very destructive to ourselves most of all. And if we don't get it under control, it can become very destructive to those around us, our family, our friends, those that we come into contact with. That anger begins to have an effect on them and an effect on your witness for Jesus Christ.